Welcome to the Dan Flow. The idea of this podcast is to investigate real human stories, see what we can learn by way of people's wisdom, knowledge, insights. And for this, we can interview people of all levels of society, people who are not known at all, people who are very well known. And today I am fortunate enough to be joined by someone who is very well known, especially in the South African scene. Siv Ngesi.
Hi, man.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So something that I wonder about, because I looked at some of your bio, try to put your life together in my head, try and understand your story from the outside. Obviously, your story is very different from the inside. But something that I picked up at around age 12, you got picked up for Lemies.
Actually, 9, turning 10.
At 9? Okay.
Yeah.
So you got picked up for Lemies and then toured around China.
Yeah. Traveled around the world with it. It would travel all over the world. It was the world tour of it. And that's when my life changed. Being able to be exposed to the entertainment industry and just being in a world that I belonged. I think some people aren't fortunate enough to. Some people live their entire lives without finding a community that actually is their community. I think sometimes we fake our ways into communities that we don't belong in. I was lucky to find my community at a very early age, and then I had a mom who was very supportive of it and haven't looked back.
So I mean, obviously, it's also tricky if you're 18 years old and you decide, I'm going to go try whatever kind of job. Accounting.
Yeah.
And I start working at an accounting firm and I find that all the other accountants around me are kind of the same. And I found my community. But my community are also my peers in terms of my age. Yeah. Obviously, if you're 9, 10 years old, you're surrounded by adults, even though they might be your community and your family and your future family. Yeah. They have to become your peers. And so I also know that when you did go to high school, you end up going to Pinelands High School.
Yes,
right?
I did Pinelands.
And so you get back to a school like that, and suddenly you have peers they're your age, but they don't understand what you've seen, what you've been through. And so there must be a sense of not really fitting in with.
Yeah. It's so funny you say that because I've had because I'm 40 years old now, just turned 40. And with the maturity that you get with 40, sometimes I have conversations with people and instinctively you want to add a piece to the conversation, but sometimes I have to go, actually, I don't. Let me just let them enjoy this moment. Because I've traveled to 55 countries around the world. You meet people who talk about travel, then I want to add my stories, but I'm like, okay, you don't have to add your story. So what I've realized is that my experiences throughout life have given me such incredible experiences and stories that now I'm 40, I've learned just to keep quiet sometimes and just enjoy other people's stories and try and interrogate their stories. Like if my friends have kids, I want to learn about the experiences of having children. Like a friend of mine just had twins. I'm like, oh, how do they sleep? Like, how do you sleep? How does it work? So there's a maturity that I've had to come across because even when I went to school, I'd already seen so many countries that as a kid, I wanted to show people how amazing my life is compared to theirs. But now I'm 40, I want to learn more about their lives so I can learn more about their lives so I can improve my life as well. It sounds so weird, but you're the first person to ask me that question. But I do, there were moments of not being able to fit in. But now I think as the older you get, you spend more time trying to fit in a weird, uncomfortable way.
Which is sort of almost the ask about headway for most people, right? So most people would in those... say here, early high school years, that's where you try and figure out who you are. And you're using the peers around you as a soundboard to try and discover that. And when you're too different because of your experiences and exposure and so on from those around you, then it's very difficult to try and, in terms of relating to them, to actually figure out who am I going to be one day? Who am I growing up to be? When it's easy enough that when someone says, well, you don't seem to fit in here, it's like, you guys don't understand where I do fit in.
One thing I did, I always thought I was special. I was cocky. I was in your face. I always thought I was special. But the irony now that I'm getting older, there are times when I think I just want to sometimes just chill, just a little bit more chilled. Like I go out less, I'm indoors more, and I'm just looking for real. I'm just trying to find real and trying to search for happiness, I'm glad I grew up poor, actually. Like now that I think about it, but I grew up quite poor, which made me a little bit more like, it humbles you in a weird way. I don't know how I would have been if I had money and I still had that fame that I had as a kid, how I would be right now. I don't know how I would be.
So that, I think any time that you go back in your life and decide that you want to change something from your past, and sort of this butterfly effect, you have no idea how different you would be if you just changed one small little. So maybe, like you say, if you hit that kind of fame and you already had money, then you wouldn't have been Siv Ngesi that you are today.
I wouldn't. Let me tell you, for me, if you put me in a dark alley somewhere in the middle of anywhere, I can relate with anyone, from the person who's sweeping that alley or the person who's sleeping in that alley to the person who owns that alley and the building to the left and the right. If I didn't grow up the way that I did, I would have not been able to relate with more than 60% of that. But how would I? How would I ever, culturally, living in South Africa, I think a lot of people are only scratching the surface of being South African. Like if you've never had a black friend, like there are people in South Africa who've never had a black friend. Think about that. And there are people in South Africa who've never had a white friend. When I say white, and the only interactions with people of color are from a place of work. Now, if you are working somewhere, the person you work with isn't your friend, they're your colleague. Sometimes they become friends, but I don't think that's an honest depiction of this country if you only interact with people who you work with, And I just feel like so many people South Africans are not scratching the surface of being South African.
Yeah, I mean, they're friendships, but there's also just the moment to moment you walk past someone and they're busy sweeping a floor, and you go, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh." And that same kind of dynamic, I think there are many roads to Rome.
Oh, many. I just want to let you know, I just came from Italy and I understand the hype. I understand all the sayings. I understand all the Rome terminologies. I just came from Italy a couple of weeks ago. Damn, bloody shit, damn.
Have you seen that? There's this one guy who's got a channel and he goes around Italy just trolling the people in the restaurants.
Oh, is it?
And he'd go and take spaghetti and then take a pair of scissors out of his pocket and cut it. And they get so upset, they'll take the food away. They're like, no, you can't do that.
No, incredible place.
But they're very serious about their food and the way it's supposed to be done.
And their language.
Yeah, and the language. But back to this, the many roads that lead to Rome. I think you're saying you're sort of looking for a place that's real. As real as possible as you get older. And I think there are different ways for people to get there, but I imagine for yourself, having that kind of exposure early in life, then being in a school like Pinelands High, we sort of have different exposure and also opening. And I think if you didn't have that, if they picked you up and said, "Oh, this is such a talented guy, let's send him to Vienna so he can sing in the Vienna Boys Choir and become a European and whatever else," right? Mm-hmm. You actually did get to sort of explore more of the South African cultural arena.
Agreed.
And have friends of different cultures and different languages and so on. And at the same time, still have the talent that got you that role in the first place. And I'm sure school plays and whatever else. Reading through your biography is just amazing. All the different roles you've done as an actor, as a presenter, as a producer of things. You're clearly very prolific. I think you're kind of implying that perhaps because of your background of poverty, that gave you a kind of hunger, and you found a channel and a way to pursue that. Yeah, and that made you so prolific.
So I don't think South African performers realize how complex it is to be a performer in South Africa, because you can be in a room with people who were born in apartheid, right? Some who weren't born in apartheid and born after apartheid, or some who were involved in apartheid, right? And you all have to be in this room and you perform to people who come from such different walks of life. Some who could be raised in a township or Constantia or Durb, and you have to perform to that. And I don't think many people around the world have to do that. And I don't think people realize that's why so many South Africans become great performers overseas and become successful overseas. I'm talking about behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, wherever it is. There's something special about people who come out of this country that we don't know and don't understand perfectly what it is yet. Because there is something. There is something that makes us special in this country. Like, for example, look at our rugby. Like, there's people in that team who grew up on the streets. You know what I mean? See a story. There's
Mapimpi.
Like
Yeah.
crazy stories. Some who went to boys' schools, and they're all coming together and go, let's put our differences aside and let's play rugby. Let's play a sport. And what country very well. And what country in the world do you know that when you perform to an audience, when I perform to an audience, I have to literally tailor my songs that I'm going to perform to, or my jokes, depending if I see the cross-racial or LSM of the crowd. I know what I can say. How many performers around the world could never do what we do as South African performers or industry people. It's just, it's complex. And sometimes you get it wrong. Sometimes you can get it wrong, very wrong. And I've been that guy.
And then you bomb, and you've got people, and I mean, bombing is tough enough, but bombing and then having people out for your blood, because how dare you say?
But I can tell you, the bombs that I've bombed have made me a better performer later. You know what I mean? It's made me to know if I'm in Klerksdorp and it's a group of Afrikaners and there's 90% Afrikaans. What can I say? What can't I say? Do you know what I mean? What kind of things that are? But the interesting thing is that South Africans, for example, what I always find is that South Africans have things that they like and they don't like. Every South African likes meat. Every South African hates Eskom, and every South African loves winning. You know what I mean? And those three things is what makes us South African. You know what I mean? And we and then I just find I play in those middle grounds, right? But if I know it's an all black crowd, I know what I can talk there, and kind of a thing. And it's just it's always an incredible opportunity to be part of South African audience and what makes us tick. And it's just always a pleasure and a privilege to be from this country. And when I'm performing anywhere else in the world, it's nowhere close. It's not difficult at all in comparison,
because the audience is relatively homogenous.
Yes.
So you can quickly figure out, oh, okay, there we go. This.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pitch at this, and 99% chance of success.
And South Africans are worldly, so you can crack international jokes to South Africans, right? You can't crack South African jokes when you're in flipping middle of wherever you are.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I get back to this. You're talking about trying to get real, like just staying at home, not partying too hard. And then I see, and you also mentioned sort of, recently you're 40. I think there was a tweet that you said, looked at yourself in the mirror and thought, damn, I'm still fine.
I look perfect. My body looks incredible because I work hard at it. I heard something the other day that says, you are what you eat. And I don't eat too gag. And that's why I look 40 and I'm fitter than most.
And so you, obviously diet's important part to you, but also boxing, you told me earlier, you've been boxing for about 15 years, and you feel like you're in your best boxing shape that you've ever been in.
I think I'm the best boxer I've ever been now at 40, and I'm the fittest I've ever been now at 40.
That's amazing. Also, something about martial arts and something like boxing, you could pretend to be good.
Yeah.
And then you get up against a guy who is better.
Yeah.
And no matter how much shit talk you do, he's going to show you.
Yeah.
And so it forces, this realness, it forces a sense of truthfulness to come out.
Yeah.
And for you to actually try and figure out, like, well, who am I really? How well can I box? And I think in there's some roles that will give you more or less of that kind of opportunity, but in acting, you also have these opportunities to try and explore what you could be.
Yeah.
But then on the back end of that, you have yourself, but am I like that?
Oh, listen.
Like,
first,
who am I?
First
really?
of all, I just want to say your questions have been pretty on the money. So I don't know if it's research or if it's your own personal way of thinking, but like that is a constant question in acting and performance that I ask myself every day, because I can speak the bullshit. But because
you can play whatever character I throw at you.
When they say cut action, between action and cut, man, the person who knows. For example, if you see a performer, you know what performers I feel sorry for the most is the performers that are shit and they don't know they shit. That's a big,
tough one.
it's a tough one. But let me tell you, the ones who know that they're doing badly, I promise you they know, and it's dark. It's dark. It's a dark place. I'm busy working at the moment with on a TV show at the moment. It's challenging me in ways I don't know, but it's making me a better performer. It's the same as when I'm on that 8.5 round and I've got a round and a half to go and I cannot breathe. My arms are tired. The lactic acid is flowing. That's when it counts. That round and a half, because I could get knocked out even if I've been dominating for 8.5 rounds. It's irrelevant how good I was for the first 8.5 rounds.
If the tank's empty.
What if he empties? What if he's better the last round and a half? And I was great. No, it's irrelevant how you did before. It's the same as if you meet a woman and you are so charming for 8.5 rounds, but the last round you want to give her a backhand and tell her how shit and ugly she is. It's irrelevant how charming you were in the beginning, and that's the beauty of it. And I'm going to use this because I like what you did, but that's what for me that's helped me so much is my sporting background to my entertainment background. Because I promise you, I've been in that ring and people have fucked me up, but they will not do it again. They will not do it. I will go back and I will get better and better and better and better, and then I'll face them when I'm ready, right? But unfortunately, entertainment industry, it's a similar thing, but unfortunately, entertainment, you can't say no to work. Sometimes you have to learn on the go. Same as when I'm boxing.
I think the problem also is, in something like a boxing ring, we have a fixed result.
Yeah.
Now, I know there are things like art awards.
Subjective.
But it's
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Subjective and
subjectivity
objective.
issue there. So, actor of the year. But you're like, well, was I?
Yeah. It's the same as, there's a guy out there who's won the best performance in a porn movie. And I promise you I don't want that award, but he's been winning it. There's awards for everyone, but it's subjective, and Heath Ledger said it. He said, I don't understand why people have competitions for acting, because we're all in the starting line. One guy's doing the 100-meter, one guy's doing the 200 meters, one guy's doing the 50-meter sprint. And then you want to go, oh, he came first. How can you compare? One is doing the 800-meter, and they're all doing it at a different pace. You can't compare. If this guy runs 50 meters at the same pace he's running the 800 meters, he's going to gas in the next, you know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing. Art is so subjective, but sport isn't.
Yes, but I think this is, you have occasional refereeing that makes me wonder about that.
Yes,
let's not get into that.
Especially when you put your finger in someone's eye. Not subjective. A straight red. Lucky if he gets 12, he could get 12 weeks minimum. 12 even. Minimum 12 weeks. If it goes bad, it could go up to 2 years. We don't know. That's not subjective. But rugby, the scrum, very subjective. Very subjective.
Yeah.
High tackle, low tackle, we don't know. Red card, subjective.
No, there are often things that happen. I wonder, do I even know this game?
No, I think Brian Habana is a good friend of mine, and sometimes he messages me going, I don't know, I have 135 games that I've played or something, scored many tries, and even he's like, I have no idea what just happened.
Yeah. So you're saying in sport occasionally there are these little moments of subjectivity, but it tends more towards the objective because there's a winner and a loser.
Yes.
In art, it's a collaborative thing, and so maybe the award should be for who's most collaborative.
Yeah.
But part of what might make it difficult, and I think specifically in performance art, is that you develop a repertoire of characters, and you see that, I can actually use these characters in different circumstances. And so maybe my one character was playing the president, so when it's time, I'll bring on the presidently regal character and play that. And, I'm not really being myself as such, because I know how to move between these characters and I have these characters to play. And so I think one of the very tricky things for someone like yourself is to try and, you were saying, to be real, but is to find what is that truth? Who is Siv really?
Yeah. I lost my mom 3 years ago.
My condolences.
Yeah. And nothing makes you take a step back and ask yourself who you are. Nothing, you don't feel like, I've never felt more of an adult than I do feel now without my mother. But ironically, it's made me a better performer. There's something about art. No matter what character you play, you will always be in your character. there's always be a part of you and a piece of you in those characters. I don't care who you are, Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, whoever you are, there's always be a part of you. I've never felt more in touch with self and the world after losing my mother. There's a cut umbilical cord that makes you feel more alone. It breaks some and it makes some. And for me, I think it's broken me and made me. If you told me I'm losing everything today, I'll make it faster than I would have if I didn't have a mother. Because I know if I had my mom was around, I know I could run and go sleep in her bed and share her food. But now I don't have that. You know what I mean? If I lost something, if I lost everything now, I don't mind dying. I don't mind losing it all. I don't mind being on the street, But if a mom was around, you know what I mean? The thought of that just makes it seem, But I feel like a better version and a worse version of myself at once, and I think it's beautiful for performing art. There is the rock bottom feels. I laugh at rock bottom now. I laugh at the idea of losing it all because I'm just like, I've lost it all already. What more can you throw at me?
I can laugh while I'm crying.
Yeah, but now I used to be a knife and now I'm a blade. I'm a laser now. I used to be a knife. I used to be sharp. I used to be ruthless. I used to be ruthless. But now I will slice you and you wouldn't even know I sliced you because I felt pain that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. And I think that has played a big role in making me who I am as a performer and my mission to succeed.
I think, obviously, I know a little bit about your story, and your mom was a schoolmaster, I believe.
Yeah, but she was.
And you lost your dad when you were sort of around 20 or something, which is early, and obviously these have an impact on us. And there's always a danger that pain can manifest in negative ways.
Agreed, and it has.
And you were saying a better person and a worse person.
Yeah.
And the question is, how do you temper that with your sort of better wisdom?
Yeah. They say when women hurt, they hurt themselves. When the men hurt, they hurt others. I get it. At my worst point of grief, I used to watch other people be happy, and I didn't understand why they were happy because I've lost everything. And I remember I wanted other people to feel my pain.
And you've you start to wonder, how do I share it?
Yes. And then when people would lose people, I would have a weird, unexplainable sense of relief. Because I would go, now you understand what I felt. It's not like me to feel that, and then occasionally you learn how to carry the pain, and you learn how to have the pain on your. I think the pain of grief never ends. It's always the same bag with the same amount of weight of pain, but you just learn how to carry it as you get stronger. Occasionally you trip and you fall, and you have to get up and with this bucket of bricks on your back. But I do think instinctively I'm a good person. I think the simplicity of saying that. I think what has saved me is that I'm a good person. And I've had to balance the two. But I can see how people can lose it all and go around hurting people after losing a dear loved one. And yeah, man, I'm nowhere close to finishing. But a few weeks ago, a random story, but I met up with a woman whose 3 daughters were in a car accident. She lost 2 of them. I DM'd her, reached out, and I said, I just want to come to your house one day and just give you a hug. I just said, I don't want to stay. I don't want to be there long. Just let me come and hug you. And eventually she said yes. And as I hugged her, I thought she was going to tell me to go. And we sat on her couch for about 3 hours and spoke about grief. And then I consistently would say to her, my pain is natural. Your pain is not natural. We spoke. We become friends. We talk quite often. And when I left there, I hurt less. Because it put it in perspective of what my pain is compared to hers. My pain is natural. I'm supposed to bury my mother. And I'm a 40-year-old man. Like hundreds and hundreds of years ago, by 40, I was dead. You know what I mean? Like hundreds of years, like there's no way I would be alive. You know what I mean? All those years ago, I'll be dead by now. You know what I mean? And it's actually made me better. I don't know what it is. I'm still trying to figure it out. But it did give me a huge sense of perspective on pain. Like, you can't compare pain.
No, there's no direct comparison, but at least, I think you're touching on it there. There's something natural about losing your parents to death, losing your children to death, however, that's something different. That's a different creature.
And they were best friends. They were best friends. They were inseparable. You know, she's a single mother of 3. And this woman's become a friend of mine. I can literally tell her, we call each other brother, sister, we check on each other often. But the moment I left that house was the biggest amount of healing that I've done in the 3 years, ironically. And then she has the audacity. She has the audacity to apologize to me for hijacking my grief. Like, what kind of selflessness do you get from this woman who apologizes to me for hijacking my grief when she doesn't realize that me leaving that house has made my process better of healing?
It's a bit like life came at you and said, bro, you think you hurt?
Yeah.
You think you hurt?
Yeah.
Let me show you.
Yeah. And that's what it did. That's because so funny, ironically, her friend is a friend of mine. Then she shared something about her. I clicked on it, I see she follows me. So I was like, okay, cool, she knows who I am. Okay, cool, that'll at least make it a little bit. I watched the funeral of perfect strangers because it hurt me so badly. Never met these girls in my life. Never met them in my life. But I promise you, I left there feeling better. And now that sounds weird. Let me just rephrase that. I left there feeling better about my pain. And I was able to pocket my mother. And it's the first time I was ever not to think about my mother every day. You know? And yeah, man, it's been, but I struggle like to understand how I was able to perform before losing my mother now, because there is a depth of like I have more to give now that I lost my mother. I think I love more, I love harder, I think I'm kinder, I think I'm softer, I think I give more, I think there's just more to me to give. I don't know why. I think maybe the space that was filled with her, you know what I mean? Now I have to give it to someone else and give more to the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one way of looking at it. And obviously, I'm just speculating. Yeah. We can only speculate about how these things work. But perhaps because you've experienced levels of grief you didn't previously experience, and it didn't necessarily diminish the highs that you've experienced, it's actually created a greater range. And that range can actually move in different... But you just have more to draw from your personal life experience. And I'm not talking about... oh, I need to cry in the sea now. I need to remember my dog that died. Not like that. It just, your instrument as an actor has expanded because of the range of emotion that you've actually...
But I can tell you, in a scene, if I think of my mother and I become distracted, I'm gone.
Like focus or...
Yeah, like if I'm playing paddle, I think of my mother, my focus will be like for just a split second. And then in the beginning, the first few weeks, a few months, I was out. I could be winning 6-0 and I'm losing that game. If I'm winning 5-0, I'll lose that game 7-5.
Because you can't gather yourself back towards yourself.
But now at least I can. You know, I can, but it's just...
And momentarily throw you, but you can breathe a little, take a moment, say thank you, Mom. I appreciate your love.
And carrying on. And the question I ask people is, if you could lose them again, and have one day with them, but you knew how much it would hurt, would you do it again? And now, 3 years down the line, if I had the opportunity to have a mother back for one day, but lose her again and feel that same pain again, I don't want her back. Yeah, it's how hard it hurts. Oh my fucking Lord, it's bad. It's so bad that I'll describe it for men who've gymmed. For the first couple of weeks, I thought I had torn my chest muscle. I thought I had torn something. I thought I dislocated my like a rib cage. I thought I just... And then one day someone said to me, "Oh, shame, you don't know what just happened. Oh, you heartbroken." I'm literally heartbroken. Literally, your heart is broken. And that, it hurts so bad. And that's how sometimes you see like little kids in orphanages dying. You know what they die of? They die of heartbreak. of not being carried,
That's terrible.
not being touched.
You
No.
know, because I think people are becoming, it's something that we knew for a long time, just intuitively.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we got all sciencey and they said, no, man,
No.
yeah, it's all just in your head.
No.
It's like, no, your nervous system is in your entire body. You have a stomach brain, you have a heart brain, and these, you aren't your brain. You are all of you. And these things work together, and you can feel the physical pain in your chest.
No, I indescribable. I do not wish it upon anyone ever. And to those who don't have a relationship with their parents, the pain will be of regret. At least for me, it's of losing something. There's no regret. There are natural regrets, but I don't mean there's no regret of the relationship. But if you don't have a relationship with your parents or someone in your life, when they
you
go,
stop talking or whatever else,
you will regret the possibility of that love, and I think it could hurt more.
Yeah, and maybe it won't hit you in the same physical sense in your chest, but it will go sit deep down, and there's that darkness of the possibilities that you missed out on.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, humans we're a fascinating breed. But man, But the thing is, you talk about butterfly effect. I lived for many years poor with my mother. What if I go back, I change one thing, becoming rich, and she dies when I'm 10?
Right?
No, fuck that.
And so that's a good argument for not having regrets.
Yeah.
To say,
Keep your money.
might have had some failures that I can learn from.
Yes.
I didn't win that fight. Let me go think about that carefully. How can I prevent that? That's fine. That's a little bit of a remedial discussion with yourself, a little bit of a debriefing, but that's not regretting things because you don't know. You have no idea how bad things could get.
Oh, yeah. I could have lost to a 10. Oh, my God. Then I would have been a fuck up. But man. Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
So, I think a lot of these, what we're kind of discussing, like I've said before, my intrigue is the human story. I believe everyone's got that story, and because it's a human being, that story is valid. It doesn't necessarily mean that everyone else wants to listen to it, but I generally find everyone's story interesting. And I see this common thread of people either moving towards the truth or moving away from the truth. Truth is a big word, and you say, what do you mean the truth, and so on. But there's the kind of courage that you need to be absurdly honest with yourself and with the environment around you, and be willing to say things that are controversial, even though other people, you might lose friends, you might lose, for someone like yourself who has lots of fans, you might have swaths of your fans saying, how can you say that? So, this isn't our position, but you have to be honest with yourself. And I believe I see you do a lot of this. I think one of the things is that a non-profit organization that you have for young women who don't have access to sanitary products.
Yeah.
It's a kind of thing that's taboo, very easily considered taboo in culture. I remember growing up that my mom, if I wanted sex, I was never allowed to look in her handbag. There's women's stuff in there. I just went, that's the rule. To this day, women I know can ask me, just get it in my handbag. I'm like,
we all have that.
I'll bring you your handbag.
I think we all that. I think you have a sister.
I do.
Yeah, so it's something that as brother people, I don't think the average boy gets that.
Yeah, but so it's something that's so set culture. You cause I'm Afrikaner, but I think there are these similarities
very,
and what is in many ways actually, I want to call it a slightly fake stoicism, because it's a stoic attitude without that radical candor, without the hard, honest, really go look at yourself angle. And I think when you do that, then you find that there are these taboos. I know that you've run into a little bit of trouble with some people who are like, oh, no, you're stealing this from women. Women should be dealing with this. And my take is, by being honest and by looking hard at your society. I remember in India there was a big drive for
he's like the guru of pure poverty. That guy, I forgot his name. He won a Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, him. Yeah, Padman. They called him
Padman. But I mean, if you just think down the order of like what are the knock-on effects if someone doesn't have access to
Crazy.
so it's like, okay, well now this girl can't go to school,
Can't play sport.
can't do a job because the job won't allow someone like let's say a very low paying job in a rural area that's maybe like poverty stricken. The employer's going to say, well, you can't not come to work for 4 days a week or a month, sorry. So sorry, you don't have the job. It's so disempowering.
Yeah.
And I'm intrigued, like, at what did it take for you to be the guy who picked up that cause?
Yeah, I view giving back like I view stopping at the traffic light. I don't want to stop at the traffic light. I have to. I have to. The irony is that the red of the robot is the red of the blood that I work with. I don't give back just because it helps others. I give back because it makes me feel good as well. I don't respect you because of you. I respect you because of me. And that's a Japanese saying. A lot of people think misunderstand respect and giving back. And it's okay to give back because it makes you feel good. I'm inspired by the work that I do. I think it helping people is a byproduct of me enjoying giving back. I learned that from my mother. When I was growing up, my mother used to be part of these organizations that used to put money aside every single month, and then at the end of the year, you get groceries. And we were poor. My mother used to put all the groceries in the kitchen and then divide them by 4. I knew what that meant. It meant that 3 other families were going to have a percentage of our groceries. As a kid, it used to irritate the fuck out of me. But damn it, that doesn't mean
we don't have enough.
We don't have enough, girl. Like, less chocolate, girl. Like, less pro-neutral, girl. So the kid didn't understand that. But my mother loved the feeling of giving back. And she loved how she looked giving back. Now, I'm 40 years old. I couldn't have said this when I was 20. I love giving back because it makes me feel good. I love giving back because of how other people look at me when I give back. And I love giving back because it helps other people and it's a byproduct. And I'm man enough to say that and I'm unapologetic about it.
I love that you say that.
I'm sick and tired of this bullshit about people trying to make...
I'm helping because I'm a good person.
Yeah, no, bruh. I love how it makes me feel, bruh. I love that I feel better about myself. I love that I love how people look at me when I give back. And I love that a byproduct is helping other people. Like, it's the same as I met you today. I've never met you before. But I respected you. I asked you questions. I was friendly. I listened. We talked. And I don't do it for you, bruh. I do it because I need to respect myself enough to be kind to other people. Now, this whole perception of the world of going, I help people because, no, but I talk shit, man. I love helping other people, right? I do. I love helping people, but I love how it makes me feel. I respect other people, not because of them. I respect other people because of me, because I respect myself. And the byproduct is respecting others. That's a Japanese culture that I learned. The same as in Japan. When you go to Japan, you find no dustbins. So you eat, you're like, where do I throw this away? Nah, bitch, put it in your pocket and throw it away later. So a lot of the Japanese culture has this like weird like responsibility of self to help others.
A sense of honor.
So there's an honor. Like I will find the dustbin. The same as in New York. When I'm in New York, I will not cross the road in the middle of the road. I'll go find a traffic light. Not because of myself, because I don't want to look like a person who's breaking the law, but there is a self-respect of honor of self that here you don't jump the road, bro, but you have to do it there. And that's my view. And a lot of people don't really talk about it that way, but I talk about it. I love giving back because it feels good.
Yeah, selfishness sounds bad, but there's certain forms of selfishness that are really good.
Yeah.
If your selfishness is, I give back because it makes me feel good.
It's not bad.
We can take that selfishness.
We'll take it.
If your selfishness is, you know what, I'm not going to go out to that party. I need to stay at home and I want to do this and this and so on for my own self-care because I know I need to. That's being selfish, but that means that there's more of you to go around the next day. And so taking care of yourself is selfish.
Yeah, and the best selfishness in the world.
Yeah, but if you don't take care of yourself, then who's going to take care of you?
No, it's the same as like some people who, like, they're for me, if you care of others, takes away from you. I said this all to my friends who are mothers. you cannot pour out of an empty cup. You can't. Like, if you are spending every day, like every single day, and you're not showering, you're not cleaning yourself, you're not working out just because you want to give it all to your child, you're not helping that child if you don't give back to you. And there's this perception that sacrificing continuously. No, bro, if you're sacrificing self, you can't give back your full potential to others. You can't pour out of an empty cup. And I am all about that.
I think there's a powerful case to be made for, being an example. Like you explained how your mom dividing those Christmas groceries in four, she could have spoken about it as much as she wanted, but she actually did that.
Oh, she did. Oh,
and
no,
you saw it,
no,
and it sat on you.
No, it's
and I think it's something that you realize, like, if everyone did this, if everyone respected themselves enough to respect the people around them in the Japanese way, and everyone cared enough for their own selfish sense of purpose, meaning, and accomplishment by giving to other people, where would the world be?
So
you say, well, I can't do it for everyone, but I can do it for me.
So if you're a man listening to this, I was with a woman last week. We're going to go play pool. And nothing sexual, nothing. We're going to go play pool. She's very good at pool. And I said to her, hey, it's late. Come sleep on my couch. I'll sleep on my couch. You sleep in my room. And she was like, what are you? And I was like, no, I want nothing. Like, I want nothing. But I want you to be safe. Because first of all, if you're not safe, something happens to you when you go home, I will feel guilty for not getting involved. Once again, I'm respecting myself and the byproducts are respecting you. Cool, whatever. And eventually she's like, okay, cool, whatever. I sleep on my couch, she sleeps in my room. And eventually I said to her, I'm not going to try anything. Not because of you. I'm going to try something because of myself, because I respect myself. Right, kind of a thing.
Yeah, what a terrible disrespect this would be to myself.
You know what I mean? Like, for me, we've got to go back to basics of how it is to be human. Like, we've got to respect ourselves to the extent that the byproduct is respecting others. I promise you the wording is incorrect in my eyes. This whole thing about respect, no, respect self, and the byproduct of respecting self is respecting others, right? And so for me, like, I go back to talking to young boys and young men, and I say to them, if you want a good relationship with a woman, make her feel safe in the fastest time possible. Now, once again, it's not just her.
And not a false sense of security.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Because you respect yourself. Now, we live in a country with the highest unemployment, right? Poverty is high, right? People are experiencing abuse in households, etc., etc., etc. Now, with these things, how do you expect a person to respect themselves if they have no money? They can't feed their families. They fail to protect their families. They lose respect of self. What's the next thing? What happens next when you don't have respect of self? You have no respect of others. So if you're walking around and you want to take something from someone else, you don't have education to lose. You don't have providing for family. You've lost it all already. You've lost self-respect. How are you supposed to respect someone else? Guys, I think it's simple.
Or the environment. Or
or the simplest. Right? Or you see someone throwing trash out the window. What? Really? You know, the other day, the day I got my car from BMW, thank you BMW, someone jumped a red robot right in front of me. Thank God I delayed. It was on my cell phone. So yeah, but anyway, that's it. But I was at the traffic light. But I was at the traffic light. I wasn't on my phone while I was driving. I was at the traffic, whatever. So
it's the red light.
A bit of a delay.
You stop at the red light.
Yeah.
We've established.
Yes. I chased him down. Not responsible, but whatever. Got to the traffic light and I told him, and I was like, brother, you just jumped a red robot, dog. He's like, no, I did. I said, bruh, I just got this car. Like, this would have been so ugly for all of us, right? And eventually he laughed and he said, but I recognize you from TV. I'm sorry, bruh, kind of a thing. But in that moment, for me, he could have changed our entire course of our lives, all of our lives. Because in that moment, he didn't respect his own life to jump a red robot, because then you're risking yourself getting, but on the byproduct, you kill me or you kill another kid or kind of a thing. And I just feel like for me, the basics of respecting self and having, like I say to women all the time, I'm the prize. And they always get shocked. I'm the prize. You can be the prize too, but I'm the prize. We can't play this whole narrative that women are the prize to men. No, bullshit. We're all each other's prize. And for me, I'm all about people respecting self. Going back to basics of respecting yourself, and I'll treat you well, not just because I want to respect you, but I want to respect myself, and the byproduct is respecting you. Let's go back to basics for me. And that's the shit my mother taught me. Like, we've got to treat others. Like, my mother used to say to me, we are poor, but we don't have to look poor when we go outside. You don't have to look poor.
You don't have to behave poor.
We don't have to behave poor, and we have to respect ourselves highly. So outside, I can tell you, we sat down, you had a small little Coke. You don't usually drink Coke, but something's wrong with your stomach, so you're drinking Coke, right? You have a brother, you have a sister, right? You have a mom, you're Afrikaans, grew up in Pretoria. I can tell everything, because I've listened to everything you said, right? It doesn't help me in my life, but because I respect myself enough, I need to make sure I give you all the time to tell me your story, to be able to show you respect. And I think we just got to go back to the basics of that. And I think the internet has made us so lazy, man, like so self-involved, and I'm involved in that because the internet is my fucking life. But I just feel like I just see wording online that makes us him versus him, her versus her. It's just a competition continuously. If we just go back to basics for me, I think it'd improve a lot of things.
Yeah. Respecting yourself is, that's foundational. If you respect yourself, then you can say, well, in the typical way, say, if you really respect someone, what would you tell them? You would tell them the truth.
Yeah.
And so if you really respect yourself, then you have to tell yourself the truth.
Yeah.
And then that has to sort of come at whatever, accepting whatever kind of costs come with that.
Yeah. And
then pursuing that to whatever end.
Yeah. No, I'm, but I've cried a lot. I've mourned, I've grieved, but I've got to turn the pain into something good, as cliche as it may seem. And I've been on a real long journey of self-improvement and self-respect and trying to go back to what she instilled in me. And yeah, man, I think the turning point is when 22nd of August 2022. That's when my life changed for the better and the worse.
Tell me, if you had to, because I believe we've established that this is an incredibly powerful way of approaching life, of realizing that you need to take care of yourself and you need to be selfish about your own time, and you can give and be open about the fact that there's a selfish pleasure in giving and helping. And if we could cultivate this kind of attitude for the youth of South Africa, that would obviously change the trajectory of the country tremendously. You've already mentioned that, obviously if someone is in complete poverty, then it's very difficult for them to have this. So, but there also isn't a magic wand to swing to say, okay, well, now no one is in poverty. Perpetually, no one will ever be in poverty again. It has to be approaches, right? So, I mean, education is important, role models important. How do you think we can address education in South Africa? And when I say education, I mean formal education, school systems, maybe AI assistance that we'll have soon, availability of technology, also availability of early development, nutrition.
Yeah.
There are a couple of things that you want to, but some of that's also just, and I think something very powerful. Someone like yourself who has a voice and who has a massive influence.
Guys, in China they're killing corrupt. Government officials.
Let's execute you.
They're killing you. The evidence is good enough. They're killing you because you're killing lives. You're killing the potential of people's futures. I think we should expose. We should expose corrupt politicians. We should put them up there. They should go to jail. They should really be punished. And we obviously know we're not going to be killing them. But I'll go down to basics of putting money back into education fiercely, like going in hard. I would go back to really putting a lot. I did Boy Scouts as a kid. Go back. I want kids to go to Boy Scouts. I think people need to go to Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, because Girl Scouts come together. I would make people who are in jail work. I want you to work. I want you to be able to if you're in for 5 years and you need to work the time off, I think you need to be in there plowing, cleaning, whatever, doing stuff, building. I think people who are sitting in jails cannot be sitting in jails and not working. They need to work. They need to do something.
They can't be sitting there getting fed while
you got to be doing
millions
something.
of South Africans.
Yeah, you got to be doing something.
feeding.
Yeah, and that's going to happen. I think we're going to put money back into our police force. And I have a weird idea of each company that it can afford should literally adopt 10 police officers. Now, let me explain. They must not know what police officers they're putting money into at all. That's what I'm asking for. But I think we love to blame the government for everything. I was at the G20 a few weeks ago in Joburg. Joburg has never been cleaner. Every corner had a police officer. Every traffic light was working. I am not naive enough to think that doesn't cost money. That costs money, right? That costs a lot of money to do that. But imagine we lived in a city that every corner had a police officer, right? There were police officers everywhere, but quality police officers. Now, if government's talking and complaining about money, then companies must put the money where their mouths are. Because we South Africans don't mind more tax if the tax is going to the right positions in the right places, right? Then we have more police officers, better training. We get people from international to come help us train. We need more police officers, more vans. We need more of a presence in this country. There's too many people per police officers, right? I think we've got to work on the crime. 78 murders is disgusting. Disgusting. 78 murders a day. That's high. That's
insane.
Let me tell you, to the people who are pro-Palestine, et cetera, I love that. But in the last year, there were more murders in South Africa than deaths in Palestine.
So it's a bit of a war zone.
This is a war zone.
Yes.
Right? We've got to fix that.
So, sorry, I've heard you speak about Joburg thing before, and I think for context, some people might not know, but Johannesburg has basically, in the past 10 years, become derelict.
It's been derelict. Terribly. Fucked up. Terrible.
So it just went to complete shit, and
theft,
we have a G20,
incompetence.
lo and behold.
Yeah. Suddenly, when the world is here, it came together. And I promise you, I've never seen Joburg look cleaner. I've never seen more possibilities. I saw working traffic lights. I saw no potholes. Right? The possibility is for me, put money into education, put money into our police force, get out all of the corrupt bastards, hang them by their balls over there, make sure that they're working.
Enforce systems of accountability.
Accountability needs to be needed. And then another thing, let's stop falling for the shit that they're doing. They keep on dividing and they're using the oldest tricks in the books to divide and conquer us. We must make sure that those who are corrupt need to pay for their sins.
And those who consider being corrupt see how badly you pay for it.
Yes.
Like the Singapore thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Some major official.
Yeah.
There, we've got you. That's it. You're going to jail, and everyone realizes
you've got to be punished. There needs to be a price to pay for a crime.
For stealing from the people.
Yes. And we got to stop. We got to do simple things. New York started enforcing people throwing gum on the street, jaywalking. They fixed the windows, right?
Fixing the windows.
Yeah. Nothing says broken area than broken windows. Fix the broken windows. Then they put a cop on every corner, right? So if it's 100 meters, cop, what happens? You see a cop, you think, and for that 100 meters, that's your accountability. Then after a while, they put them further apart. Then you saw a cop here, then they get cops 200 meters away. What happens? That's 200 meters of accountability. Then 300 meters. And that's what we do. Put cops in every single corner. If you want to cause shit in South Africa, you mustn't do it out in the open, right? And another thing, social media and all the things, people are sensitive. If we see you fucking up, we must fuck you up. I'm 150%. People listen, if we see you messing up as a community, we will get you, we will beat you up, and we'll send you to jail. Now, unfortunately, there'll be a lot of collateral damage. There's collateral damage that happens. I get it. But we're sick and tired of being sick and tired of South Africans. And we need to get our hands dirty as much as possible. Let me tell you, for me, if I see someone hitting a woman and then in my car, I'm getting out of my car, I'm fucking that guy up. If she tells me, no, I saw you hit her, I'm going to fuck you up. Right? I don't give a damn who you are, right? I'm all about that. One day I'll get a knife in my neck, I die. But let me tell you, at my flipping funeral, everyone will say, Siv Ngesi died what he loved doing best, and that is standing up for the marginalized. I don't mind taking a flipping knife to my neck or my heart. I don't mind dying for a good cause. I'm unapologetic about it. But we all need to get our hands dirty. As South Africans, we speak a lot, we talk a lot, but we don't do enough. Get our hands dirty.
I think, we were talking about the individual taking responsibility for himself by
Yeah.
actually respecting himself.
Yeah.
And you talk about this Johannesburg thing. Here's Johannesburg municipality not respecting itself.
No, it doesn't.
For 10 years, or however long it's been.
Long.
You just see this dereliction. Like there was that gas line and it exploded. They just left it. Like no one. It's just, and then we have, other people are coming.
No.
Now we'll fix it because we'll look pretty for them, but we're not going to look pretty
For ourselves.
For ourselves,
Ourselves.
for our own city,
Our
for
own
our
people.
own people.
Yeah. No, bro.
And it's that self-respect,
Yeah.
And it's it's that same phenomena you were talking about. I believe that sort of spans out to a next level. If you're a self-respecting politician, then what do you want?
Yeah.
I want to live a life that is beyond reproach.
Yeah.
I want people to know, because selfishly, I want people to know and be able to know 20 years down the line when all the records are available that I really fought for them. Everything I did was not to line my own pockets. Everything I did was to improve the situation of the people of the country.
Yeah. No, I'm
Education, healthcare, early development, nutrition.
and then we'll celebrate you. And
Then celebrate the people who actually do that.
Yes. And if you are helping people because it makes you feel good, keep on helping people and we'll make you feel better. And along the line, you'll make more money. Like, I'm a basic guy. I'm very basic. I'm very, very, very basic. I live a very simple life. My simple life is I'm searching and I will always search for happiness. Do you know what my definition of, I've said this in podcasts before. Do you know what my definition of hell is? My definition of hell is when I'm about to die, I'm on my deathbed. I'm about to die, and the man I could have become comes to meet me. My mission in life is that the guy who's sitting there dying meets the person who is dying. But let's be truthfully honest, we all make mistakes, we all don't take risks, we all these things. And the definition of hell is I'm about to die, and he says, if you had done this, and this, you would have been this. And yeah, man, that's why I take risks. I invest, I take risks, I lose money, I give back, I do as much as possible. It makes me feel good. But I do not want that man who's dying to meet a man who's vastly different from him. I don't.
Siv, I tend to feel the same, not necessarily with all the money and investment and risks and so on, but that you want to ultimately, we all die in the end.
Yeah.
And maybe, it's a stray bullet straight through the head and you don't even get to contemplate your death as you go.
Yeah.
But let's assume, it's maybe like a shot in the stomach and you're lying there bleeding out. And like they're in terrible pain. And
it's so painful.
And I'm busy dying. I'm going to die. I'm in this terrible pain. I'm busy dying. On top of that to have, I really haven't lived my life.
Oh my God.
I really haven't respected myself enough. I haven't respected the people around me enough.
Goodness.
There are all of these things that I knew. Like, I'm so full of regret now while I'm in this pain, while I'm busy dying. And it's like, look, I think you get to be born. Some people get to die a couple of times, but, that's sort of really the exception. Most people get to be born once and you die once. You can't really remember your birth, and let's assume you're not really going to remember your death, but it's actually sort of a special occasion. You might get married 3 times, you only die once.
Yep.
And so to at least say, well, how do I not spoil my death? How do I have a good death? Is, well, make sure you live a decent life and that you're aware of present reality, moment to moment. I am here. Be in the moment and appreciate how amazing it is, because at some point it stops.
Yeah, I could die tomorrow. I could drive in my brand new car out of there.
It is a sexy car, by the way.
Thank you very much, BMW. I could drive out of right now. Someone T-bones me and kills me. All I want is my best friend to find my phone and delete everything on it. Right? That's what they already care about. And cremate me. I don't give a fuck where, how. But what I will say is, may my memorial service and my funeral be consistent. May they tell people he was a man who helped others, who lived a life hard, cocky as fuck, sometimes arrogant. But did I feel better when he was in the room? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And that's all I care about, man. Take my money, give it to my sisters, give it to my nieces and nephews, donate some, And may millions and millions of young girls across this country have pads on their vaginas because of me. That's the only mission I really care about in the legacy that I live. The rest, irrelevant. Kill me in the next 10 minutes for all I care. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I really would I have said that before the 22nd of April, 2022? No, because I would have worried what she thought and how she felt if I had died. You know what I mean? Like, I remember I used to go out when I traveled. I used to do some crazy things overseas, jump out of airplanes. But I always used to think to myself, as long as my mother doesn't have to identify my body. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was like
it's one reason not to die.
There's one little bit of caution, like a little bit of caution. And my friend said that changes when you have kids. Because then you don't want them to bury. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's like I'm in this weird little gap of having no kids, no mother. When I'm just like, fuck it. Let me go. I don't mind going.
A moment of freedom in the middle there somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've already explained that you're given us a final will and testament for what should happen to all the things and what you care for.
I actually don't have a will, actually, funny enough.
Well, I think you just set one up for the moment. We can record the date.
Take my money, don't give a damn. Spend it, don't give a damn. But, yeah.
No, I mean... such a light note.
No, I'm an intense guy. Like even now, I'll finish here and I'll go to my house, drop my clothes right over the door, like naked as I walk and sit on the couch. I'm busy watching a documentary at the moment. I watched a beautiful documentary yesterday, actually, a 35-minute documentary. And this man has been reporting since Columbine about shootings of kids. And in it, he always finds like a good story out of it. Like going, Jack, who was 15, jumped in front of and saved whatever. You know what I mean? And now he goes around different houses of parents who've lost their kids. And he goes into their rooms and takes pictures and records in the girls' or the boys' houses and rooms. And I watched it yesterday, and it made me feel so sad and so beautifully happy at the same time. Because these little kids still have this legacy, and they'll stay young forever. And their room's exactly the same, but we all know that they shouldn't have died. They should have never have died, been shot in the school, But what I found beautiful is what I found beautiful about my mother's death. Is that her name will always live. She'll always be the same age. She'll always be the same beautiful person. And I'll try my best to change lives and do things in her name, But you got to watch it. It's so beautiful. It's on Netflix. And they literally, he said, enough of trying to find positivity in this. And he went in, and ironically, there was crazy sadness, but incredible positivity as well. Rooms looking exactly the same. One mother was like, there's the laundry that he had. The laundry, his basket is exactly the same. I just washed the socks and the underwear because that would be disgusting. But like,
wash it and put it back in the...
Yeah, but the legacy of this beautiful thing, like elephants, when you die, they still have a graveyard, they still bury you, and they still celebrate your life. But I found it very beautiful. It's on Netflix. It's a short film.
Okay. I mean, I don't readily watch things like that, but if I happened on it, but I'll take your recommendation and go look at it.
It's something.
But
small.
I do believe, I mean, like the conversation we've had today, there's a lot of pain and there's tragedy and there's, on a personal front, and then let's say sort of a broader political and like how we think there's frustration and there's annoyance and it's fair to have all of these emotions because we're human beings. We also want to look at how can we solve it? How can we leverage? How can we use what we have to get to better places? But I think trying to find, I'm going to quickly say about South Africa, I think at this point, there tends to be two extremes. The one extreme says things are so fucked up that there's nothing that we can do to fix it.
Oh, no, never.
And the other extreme is things are fine.
No.
So that no need to fix it.
No.
And you have to find the middle ground where you're still driven to action.
Yeah.
You can say like, there are things that are very wrong. There are things that I don't agree with, and there are things that we would like to see changed.
Yep.
and it can be done.
No, I believe.
And that's how we drive towards a positive future for South Africa. I mean,
I have a weird idea. I don't follow tax very. I don't know. I'm not good at this tax stuff. But I would love it if South African government could try attract South Africans expats back. Right? You were overseas. There's things of work that you know. Attracting them back by offering them tax rebates for doing certain things, for like giving people incentives to come back.
Or just removing some of the current disincentives.
Agreed. So like, let's talk about BEE. Like, no matter what you believe about BEE, that's not the conversation we're going to get into now. But if you hire 40 people, there's no BEE. Like something to attract people back into the country, right? And I think incentives. I want to tell you, I've been overseas. There are people who are overseas who want to come back, right? They just need incentives, the right incentive to come back, If we fix the education, if we fix the policing, if they know they're going to be safe, there's a lot of ways to get people to come back. And they want to come back. They know the life here is amazing. They know it.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest incentives there is just because they say your happiness, it's as a person, or as a family, or as a society in general, is not determined by the level of wealth or happiness or security that you have. It has to do with the direction of that trend.
Yeah.
And so if you are incredibly poor, but year on year you are getting a little bit less poor.
Yes.
If you are unsafe, but every year you become a little bit safer.
Yeah.
Then people tend to be very optimistic because they can see things. And I think this is what happened in China for a lot of Chinese, where they could see in the course of a generation how things just change completely.
I love China, by the way.
And, if you can, I'm not saying it's necessarily going to happen for South Africa to grow at economically at the breakneck speeds that China did. Every country has their own flavor, own way, and so on. But if you at least give people the sense that it's getting better, everything's getting safer. The country's becoming richer. The jobs pay a little bit more. There's a little bit more respect. People are respecting themselves a little bit more every year. A little bit more. Politicians are being held to account a little bit more every year.
But is that reminds you of the saying about the frog in hot water?
It gets used to it.
Yeah, it gets and then suddenly it's boiled. I was in China, and I feel like the world is very wrong about China. And there's something special happening there. We're gonna blink, and they're gonna be the world power if they're not already. What a fascinating place, man. Yes.
It is a fascinating place.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you are dishing ice cream. It doesn't matter what, sweeping the streets. You're doing it at your best. At your best. I know there's bad part about it, but for me, open up factories, do things, employ people, get them out there, educate people, certain free sanitary pads. You can't have free education without free sanitary pads. Do you know, it's interesting something quickly. 22 million women bleed, 22 million women. 22 million women bleed. 14 can afford sanitary pads, 8 can't. Out of that 8 million, 4 of those go to school. If the 14 million women, 14, just bought half a packet of sanitary pads, just half, we could end period poverty overnight.
To just donate to the 4 who'd end up not going.
So the 4 at school, I would say start with the 4 at school. If every woman 14 just bought half a pack to give to the 8. Now different flows, obviously. Some women need more than others, whatever. No more period poverty. Same as food. If every bit of food that gets...
So just for those who don't know, because I've seen you talk about this, or I've read about this, it actually you can translate it to hours.
Yeah.
Hours of education.
So, definitely. So like,
right? So you guys did 1.5 million.
Yeah, we're in 1.5 million sanitary pads for free, which is about an average of about over half a million school days every single month.
500,000 school days.
Yeah. Actually, it's actually worse, but we're just being conservative. Literally, young girls go to school.
Education.
And
that adds up.
So like, for me, it's that simple. If you just take, for example, for my factory, max for 10 sanitary pads, 10, it's 5 rand, 50 cents a sanitary pad in my sanitary pad. So if you give me 2.50 rand, that's half a pack. If these women give me 2.50 rand, 14 of them, 14 million, it's over. Now, if you involve the men into it, they're going to give me R1. If every single South African who can afford sanitary pads, let's say 28 million, including the men, they gave me R1. R1 each. I end period poverty. Like this. It's that simple. It's literally that kind of a simple sum.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Siv, I think please, drop your details with your contact on, but also I'd maybe briefly look at how you fund the sanitary pads, and if you have a foundation or whatever else, and we'll put the deets in the description as well.
So I have a sanitary pad called Ministration Foundation. It's called Ministration Foundation because it started by two men, Menstration. And at the moment, we get corporates to give us money. They give us money. Then we put up vending machines at schools, dispensing machines. Girls sign out coupons in, whoosh, packet of pads, simple. And we put a particular company's branding on those machines. At the moment, we did it because a lot of people were actually selling women's sanitary pads that we've donated. So we've cut out the corruption. And at the moment, we're the biggest sanitary pad charity on the African continent. I think the only biggest one is the guy in India, because obviously they're way bigger. And then I got sick and tired of getting cheap quality sanitary pads. So then I went to China, got fundraisers, and I bought, with my business partner, a machine in China that makes between 450 to 650 sanitary pads per minute. At the moment, we're producing about 350 or 400, which is about 216,000 per day. We could lift it up to 650.
And like a triple capacity.
Yeah, we can lift it up. But obviously the problem is that if you want to lift the output, if there's one mistake, it's an increased output of mistakes. So we found that our sweet spot is about 350 to 400. And then there we can at least check. But as soon as you push it to 650, yes, you're making a lot. But if you make one mistake, that's the mistake is a costly one.
That mistake can be terribly embarrassing for someone and really do so much damage. So
literally it's affordable to do from 7 to 7 because obviously the solar system, what's it called, the solar panels. Then it gets more expensive if you start working night shifts. You know what I mean? It's quite a fascinating. People don't realize that 10 cents from 10 cents to 1 cent. Can change the game.
And so that's a little bit of operational management to figure out what the optimum is. At some point you say, you know what, we just have to go buy another machine. That's exactly what we're busy doing at the moment. Because because people think, because we can do 3 shifts, 8 hours, but obviously it gets over 7 Your
o'clock.
energy inputs are going up.
Yeah.
Your error throughput is higher.
Then people are tired. Night shifts don't work as hard as day shifts. There's little things that I'm learning. And let me tell you another thing. If you've forgotten everything I've said today, if you forget everything I said, and I said a lot, just remember, if you have 2 people, and with 2 people you can make R2, but with 1 person you can make R1. I will take R1 from R2 any day over having just R1 by working alone. Right? I hope that makes sense. But I challenge all to collab. I have a business partner. His name is Marius Besson. He's a 110 kilogram Afrikaans guy from the West Coast. He is a work mule. He works hard. He does things that I can't do. He's great with admin. But I'm great at being the face, bringing the money in, and doing marketing. And he's the guy who uses the money that I bring in. So for me, find someone who works unbelievably well with you. If it wasn't for Marius, we wouldn't be where we are. If it wasn't for me, we wouldn't be where we are. So I challenge all of you to come together and collab with people who have similar mindset, but have the same skills.
I think that's a beautiful message. Siv, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, man. First of all, I just want to say, preparation, absolutely incredible. I can see you and the way you think. You've asked me questions that no podcast has asked me before, which is incredible because I do thousands of these. So great research, and I know some of the things you can't see on paper, but I see it's your way your mind works. So I'm glad I came. Thank you.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
I love.